Hello traders, Rich here, and here's a quick but detailed update on MANA. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started. As we clearly see, MANA was stuck inside a range for a while, and then we had an explosive movement pushing price upward, breaking above the previous all-time high around 1.7, and we are currently in a correction phase. And of course, when we are overall bullish, we'll be waiting for the correction to be about to end to catch what? The next impulse movement, which would result in a higher high, or in our case, with a new all-time high, because the current one but the new one is around the round number 5, which is a very strong round number. And if we take our Fibonacci for this impulse, which is the result of this break upward, we can see that the zone around 2 1.5 is a strong area to look for buy setups where we can expect that the correction would end, as it's the intersection of the 0.618, 0.786, the previous all-time high, and it's also a demand area. Of course, our long-term demand area from daily time frame is starting from here. However, if we zoom into H4 time frame, we see that we also had an explode, or like the true explosive movement starting from this particular area. But of course, we don't buy blindly because we can't really know where the correction would end. It can end here or even dive a little bit deeper before going higher. So even though we are overall bullish, we don't buy blindly. We always wait for two things. One is for a rejection area, which is in our case this green zone. Second, we want the buyers to prove to us that they are taking over again, because now clearly from a medium-term perspective, the sellers are in control. If you zoom into H1 time frame, which anyway we could also see from H4 time frame, that the price is now trading inside this falling channel, and of course the upper trend line is not valid yet, so we'll be waiting for price to form a third swing around it, and then we'll be buying above this swing, which I consider our trigger swing. That's why I always highlight it like this as our trigger. And of course, meanwhile, until this happens, mana would be overall bearish and can still make a new swing like this before going higher. So this is a strong area, which is a demand and Fibonacci retracements, which we saw previously, and also the previous all-time high around 1.7. So, and of course, when the buyers take over, we can expect like an impulse movement similar to the previous one, which would result, as mentioned previously, with a new all-time high at around 6 or 6.5. Before we continue, I want to tell you about MUDREX. MUDREX is one of the world's leading algo trading platforms. It has more than 30K registered users from 90 different countries, with over 2 billion total traded volume on the platform. It's very simple. When you log into your account, you go to Invest, Algo, and you've got over 300 different strategies to choose from. And you can also filter it through these features: top score, popular, and so on. You can click on them on any algo and you check the expected return, number of investors, and so on. So you click on it and check all the details to decide if it suits your risk appetite, personality, expectations, and so on. You can even build your own algo and monetize it to attract investors. But we'll talk about this in the next video. If you don't have an account yet, make sure to create one using the links in the description below to get $25 sign up bonus. And let's continue. As we clearly see, AUDCAD has been stuck inside a range for a while in the shape of a descending triangle, as price is making equal lows and lower highs, and it's currently approaching the lower bound of the descending triangle, and it's currently also sitting inside a support area, as we can see in blue. That's why we'll be looking for buy setups on lower time frames, unless of course the entire structure, which is this one, is broken downward, which will also be a break below our support area. In this case, this support would become a resistance, and we'll be looking for sell setups on the retest. But for now, and until this happens, AUDCAD is currently sitting inside a support area. That's why we'll zoom into lower time frames to look for buy setups. And of course, we don't buy blindly, even though we have many confluences that we expect the price to trade higher from here, because for now it's currently overall bearish, and you don't want to buy a bearish market, as price can still, as mentioned previously, break below the support area. So we zoom into lower time frames and look for extra confirmation. We want the buyers to prove to us that they are taking over. And as mentioned previously, we are currently overall bearish. The price is making lower highs and lower lows. So we had this impulse correction, and we are currently in the impulse phase, of course, of a short-term bearish trend. And since we are around a support area, we'll be looking for buy setups as mentioned previously. So we'll be waiting for price to form a third swing around our upper red trend line to consider it valid, and then and only then we'll be buying on spike upward. That's why you see me highlighting it as our trigger. So waiting for this to happen. Of course, it doesn't have to happen exactly as this. I'm not predicting the next move. I'm just like highlighting what I would like to see so that the conditions as per my rules would be met. And of course, when the buy is activated, the stop loss would be just below the previous swing low, as now we expect the price to start to make higher highs and higher lows instead, and we target a 2 to 1 is to reward ratio, or 1 to 2 is to reward ratio, which would be our take profit around the upper bound of the descending triangle, and which would also be this resistance zone in green. And meanwhile, of course, until this happens, AUDCAD would be overall bearish, can still trade lower before going up, or even break below the support area for it to become resistance. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.